little bit more about the fact that the government has rolled out a very ambitious national health protection scheme. It's going to cover some 10 crore poor families, and basically under it, each family every year will be allocated 5 lakh rupees. It's a healthcare scheme that will potentially be the world's largest government-funded health program, and that's probably why, as soon as it was announced, it's now being dubbed as Modicare, on the lines of what you saw former US President Obama do. But is it not going to be a challenge to ensure that it reaches the deserving? We've got a special guest who's joining in on the show to talk to us about it. Dr. Devi Shetty, founder and chairman of Narayana Health, is live here on the show. Dr. Shetty, good evening, and thank you so much, sir, for taking time out for us. A huge thrust on, your sector, that's healthcare, the announcement of the world's largest government-funded healthcare program, also, of course, grabbing headlines today. How much of a challenge is it going to be?
I call this as a dream budget. And I waited for 30 years for this to happen. And finally it has happened.
Okay, so I'm sure you're a happy man today. It's been a 30-year-long wait. But, you've time and again sort of talked about the lack of quality, talent and infrastructure when it comes to health. How much of a daunting task is it going to be, given those constraints, to give coverage to almost 40% of India?
See, earlier, nearly half the country's population couldn't really afford the secondary, tertiary care. And so they accepted the fate. There was no demand. Now, with the government coming as a financial intermediary, patients will demand. Half the country's deprived population tomorrow will demand high-tech healthcare because they are covered by the scheme. Then automatically hospitals will come up, and the hospital which come up will be financially viable, and everything related to the healthcare will undergo change. Earlier there was no demand. Now the demand will happen, and demand will address all the shortages.
So basically what you're telling us is that it's going to be a big shot in the arm for, players like Narayana Health.
It will drive the growth of every hospital, including the private hospitals. Everywhere there will be a huge upsurge, and you will notice a change soon. Yeah, it will be across the country.
Sure. But sir, would you not agree that there are concerns as far as the implementation are concerned? And I'm just saying concerns because, it's going to be really a very, very difficult task, because a lot of this is about getting, it right on the ground. And do we have the required infrastructure for it?
See, there will be roadblocks, there will be problems, but eventually we have seen this transition happening in the state of Karnataka. 14 years ago, when we launched the health insurance, everyone was skeptical. There were not many hospitals, especially in the private sector. Today, everywhere hospitals have come up because people can afford to pay. So there will be a huge change, and initially there will be problems. I agree. I think there will be problem from shortage of skilled manpower to the beds and the government's ability to pay. But eventually, over a period of time, all these problems will be addressed. See, the budget is the intent. They have the intent to go in this direction. I am glad government has recognized that healthcare is an important issue for the country, and I want to congratulate the government for making it happen.